determinants of physics curriculum. In our previous session, we look at the learner as a determinant of the physics curriculum. And in session 2 of Unit 2, we will be looking at the teacher as a determinant of the physics curriculum. My name is Patrick Eji. Now, at the end of this session, you should be able to explain why the teacher is considered when planning a curriculum. Then secondly, explain the qualities expected of an effective science teacher in curriculum implementation. Then finally, explain the role teacher education plays in science education reform. Now let's zoom in to what this content or session has for us. Now the science teacher in the teaching learning process, we know is a dominant figure among the 4 elements for effective teaching. Now remember in our previous session, we saw that there are 4 elements that interact for effective teaching and learning. And these elements were the learner, the teacher, the curriculum, and the teaching learning materials or facilities. And the teacher plays a dominant role when it comes to the teaching learning process. It is the teacher who identifies, acquires, and deploys appropriate teaching learning materials that will facilitate effective teaching. Now, because the teacher handles the students in the teaching learning process, and the teacher is also a central figure in curriculum implementation, including assessment and evaluation of performance for graduation, it is very prudent that the teacher is considered anytime a curriculum is being designed or developed. Now we know that in the science classroom or in schools, teachers work with increasingly diverse student populations. And because they work with diverse student populations, they are challenged by a whole lot of issues in the school or the classroom. Among such challenges that teachers encounter or they face in the teaching learning process includes students' attitudes and behavior cheating. Now there are sometimes the attitudes that students portray in school are different from what they show in the house. So there are instances a student may put up an attitude or a behavior, and when the parent of such a student is brought to the school, the parent will give a different story, which tells us that in the house, the behavior that we are seeing in the school is not present in the house. And this is one challenge that teachers face in the teaching learning process. And also, they are challenged by questioning of authority, as well as apathy that reflect larger societal problems. So here, sometimes in the society, we have individuals who normally have no feeling or no care of whatever things that happens. And these are the same individuals who are being found in our various schools and classroom settings. And so when such a student is found in the classroom, normally whatever activity that will happen in the classroom, they normally do not pay attention, and this becomes a challenge to the teacher. For this reason, prospective science teachers should be introduced to literature that will help them to understand the different issues that they can face in the science classes. And these issues include issues faced by females. Now we all realize that when we look at the subject of physics, it is normally male-dominated in most of our senior high schools. Physics is one of the subjects that is mostly taken by males, unlike females. So you go to most senior high schools and you realize that the number of males taking physics far outnumbers the number of females who are also taking the subject. And so the teacher, in dealing with females, sensitive. The teacher must not be gender biased, and because when this happens, it means that these few females who are in the class may feel neglected, and chances of them advising or influencing their other colleagues who may later on join them to take physics is going to be low. Also, we have students with disabilities. So these are individuals that sometimes we have in the classroom. And when you look at our education system of late, we are practicing an inclusive education system where students with disabilities are being taught with those without disabilities. And therefore, as a teacher, you must pay attention to all these issues. And also, issues concerning learners from low-income backgrounds. So you realize such learners, because of their low-income background, normally tries to isolate themselves out of their friends. And sometimes in the classroom, they find it even difficult to speak up when they are facing challenges. And so the teacher in the classroom, specifically the science teacher, must be aware of these issues that are faced by science classes so that in their teaching and learning, they can address such issues. Now, let's look at teacher education. Now, teacher education, we all know, plays an important role when it comes to science education reform. Now, previously, you realize that when you look at the colleges of education, they were running 3-year diploma programs, but currently they are all running a 4-year degree program in basic education. Now, this reform in education will also influence the various changes that will occur. So the changes in the teacher education will also bring about a change in science education as a whole. And so the teacher education informs efforts in reforming components such as standard, curriculum, and assessment. So as education system has been reformed, where currently we are having a 4-year degree in basic education at the colleges of education, we must understand that the means of assessment is going to change. The curriculum content is now going to change because previously the curriculum was designed to be run for 3 years, and now we are moving on to a 4-year program. And for that reason, it has to be designed to cater for this new change. Now, students, today we look at the teacher as a determinant of the physics curriculum. And we saw that the teacher is the implementer of the curriculum who will ensure the translation of curriculum goals and objectives into learning experiences that are being acquired by the learner. Now, before we end this session, what are some of the issues that science teachers must be made to understand in the classroom? What are some of the issues that you as a physics teacher, you must be made to understand in the classroom or during the teaching learning process? Now, once you think about the answer to this question, we will end this session here. Thank you for your time and see you again